Hello and welcome to this very interesting conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I have with me four people who have not just excelled in their respective fields, but they have changed the game forever. You know, these four people are, as we call them, the Yuva disruptors. We have with us Rani Kohinur. That's right. An actor, a singer. She's an internationally acclaimed performer, a recording artist. She is also a motivational speaker. With a film, Thank You for Coming, this film came out last year. She has become a part of India's first film to cast a real trans person, and that is absolutely incredible. We also have with us Dr. Tanaya Narendra, or more famously known as Dr. Cuterus. She's a sexual health educator, she's a doctor, she's a scientist, she's a best-selling author, she's everything. But more importantly, she's somebody who has literally simplified sexual health, wellness, and everything on social media without any filters. We also have Mansoor Ahmed Khan. He is the CEO and co-founder of Beethoven AI. This is a platform, ladies and gentlemen, that helps you to compose customized music for a video or a podcast. He's a 7th-generation sitar player as well. And he's also been featured on the 30 Under 30 list by the Forbes magazine. And this is absolutely phenomenal. We also have with us Mona Agarwal, competed in only her 4th international competition. She won a gold medal. She won a gold medal in women's 10-meter air rifle category at WSPA Parachuting World Cup to clinch a 2024 Paris Paralympic quota. Wonderful, wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, people of all gender, please give a huge round of applause for our guests who are present here. Let me start by asking you, Rani, I would like to make a confession before coming here. My stylist, he basically said that I'm going to make you look as fabulous as Rani Kohinur. I don't think that is happening here, guys. That is definitely not happening. But talking about this persona, and I know this is not going to be a simple answer to this question, but tell us about the journey of Rani Kohinur, and because I believe this has multiple layers, and how did you come up with this persona, and why was it important for you?
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Namaste, namaskar, and namaste. I would like to say that it's such a pleasure to be in a room full of such talented, wonderful youth and policymakers and disruptors, as you say. So one has to realize that, you know, whenever I step out of the house, I have a lot of, how do you say it? There's a lot on my shoulders in terms of a lot of people banking on me to be the representative for them. Yeah. Now, that's quite an impossible task because one person cannot and will not ever represent an entire community. But I am a small, minuscule part of a wonderfully diverse and wonderful community that deserves as much dignity and integrity, which is promised in my constitution as a democratic nation, as a citizen of this country, a tax-paying citizen of this country, as I may add, to have as much dignity as anybody else on this stage or in this room. And so a lot of people ask me, why do you wear saris all the time? And I'll tell you one thing, when I was reborn as Rani, I chose the name Rani only because I saw so many wonderful queens while growing up. I have to give a big round of applause to Tanaya because she speaks about such wonderful issues that are not only relevant to women and men, but also trans people, are also about minorities.
Absolutely.
And of course, we can only learn and take from one another. So your stylist is too kind and too generous, but I must say, you look fantastic today. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well,
But you look gorgeous. And yes, whenever I step out of my home, as I said, that there's a lot riding on my shoulders. So my kids are here today, and I just want to say that everybody deserves education. We need to work towards an egalitarian society, regardless of gender and orientation, and all these stigmas that the colonization has left us with. We need to get done with it and reclaim our fantastic fabric, our cultural ethos that speaks about oneness and unity in diversity.
absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, where did this name come from, Dr. Cuterus? I mean, she's cute, obviously, but where did this name come from?
It's a very simple story. Whenever we hear about the uterus, it's like uterus को detox करना है, uterus गंदी जगह है, वहाँ से गंदा खून आ रहा है. If you think about it, everybody, no matter where you come from, no matter what class, caste, culture, creed, gender, whatever you are, सबका पहला घर uterus होता है. So why do we not rebrand it as something sort of happier, I think? And it just fit, you know, cute uterus. For me, everybody, if you think about it, if you think about your first home, you have beautiful memories associated with it. We all want to, you know, live in our first home forever. Maybe not the uterus, but if you think about it that way, the uterus is a very wonderful, healthy, happy place, and it needs a better PR treatment. So that's how the name came about. It was cute plus uterus is cuterus. I wanted to be a gynecologist to begin with, and that's how the name was born.
You know, when you talk about sex, especially in India, it is still one of the most taboo subjects here. It is a two-part question. A, do you feel that people now are willing to have a conversation? And B, is it because people like you decided to talk about it without any filters, like I said earlier?
I don't think I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. There's people like, you know, Rani, there's people like Seema Anand, there's people
There's
like
so much
Lisa
love.
Mangaldas.
Yeah, there is just so much love.
There's people like Dr. Mahendra Vats who have done incredible work. So I'm just a tiny sort of speck in whatever has happened over here. But I think we've definitely grown up a lot as a country, I think, in the past 4 years. And what I've seen happening when I started doing content versus what I'm seeing right now. Now when I get hate messages or hate comments, earlier people never, you know, nobody ever fought for me. Nobody should have to fight for me. I'm a known individual. But now people are fighting for this conversation. In my comments, you know, if somebody writes some bad words about me, you will find 1,500 people attacking them and maybe trying to make them understand why this conversation is important. So I think that in itself is a win. I was in Delhi last, and I travel a lot by train, so I was at the train station, and I had a lot of luggage, so I was hiring a coolie, and my coolie bhaiya came to me, and he's like, "Madam, aap Dr. Cuterus hai na?" And it blew my mind, because, you know, I didn't expect to reach that audience, that socio-economic strata. And he later on told me, very Haryanvi dude with a thick Haryanvi accent, he's telling me, "मेरी बेटी आपके videos देखती है, मैंने अभी उसको pad खरीद के दिया, मैं हमारे घर में periods की बात होने लगी है." So if, you know, if we've gone from there to here, मेरा तो काम हो गया. I think I'm very happy with where we've reached as a country.
That is really amazing to hear, by the way. From where we were, say, 10, 15 years ago to where we are now, I think we have grown a lot. There is a lot of conversation happening around humans, their bodies, sexualities, and it is only because of people like you who are doing this good work for all of us. So a huge round of applause for Rani Kohinur, Dr. Cuterus, ladies and gentlemen. Talking about something else, talking about artificial intelligence. You know, AI, as we speak, it is changing the game. We see AI everywhere now. And you, with your company, Beethoven AI, it is right at the forefront of when it comes to the music industry. How has AI generated content, changed the scene for the content creators?
Yeah, I think I can tell it from the side of a product person who's building it, right? I think content creators, much better to ask them because they create content. But my perspective is like it's mainly about efficiency and speed of like delivering your content. I mean like it's still not quite yet there like to be completely used as a technology for end-to-end automation of your content creation, but it is an assistive technology where like parts which would require you to go out there and shoot. Maybe if you could like use a video generator to fill in those gaps and then speed up your entire process of what would take you 2 to 3 days to publish, maybe like 2 to 3 hours to publish. That would just give you as a content creator the power to publish more content, and it's all about it's a chance based thing, right? Like you publish more content, the likelihood of something getting picked up goes higher. So that's basically where it's playing a role right now, the way I see it. And secondly, yeah, I mean like also like people are getting creative with this technology. Like like you can talk about what we do at Beethoven. So it's a music creation tool, and we have seen people who never created music use this tool and start creating music, right? So in some sense, democratizing, creation, and people are excited about it. Like, people are getting to do things they weren't able to do in the past.
Let's ask the creators
Yeah.
only. Would you be using AI to include that in your work?
Yes, please. Please. Yes, please.
All right.
I mean, thank you, first of all, on behalf of all of us, because you've made life easier, and especially for technologically challenged people like myself, whose only prowess is to hold the mic and sing. After that, I don't know, फिर वो भगवान भरोसे हो जाता है ना, आप की पकड़ लीजिए फिर, और फिर बजा लीजिए कुछ भी जो भी है, फिर हम गा लेंगे, ऐसा होता है. But then, as you said, when you democratize, entire, how do you say, professions or vocations, and you give that chance for people to decide what they want to make, that is the biggest gift that you give to people and creators. So thank you.
Lovely. We also have Mona Agarwal with us. There is, whatever that we say about her is going to be less. The amount of recognition that she has achieved in the past 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, it is never going to be enough. It is never, it is like for people like us who have always dreamed of, going out there and winning a medal for India, winning something for the country. I think she's a living example of that. So huge round of applause for Mona Agarwal, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you.
मोना, सबसे पहले आप अपने जर्नी के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताइए, बिकॉज कई सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो स्पोर्ट्स फॉलो करते हैं, स्पेशली पैरा स्पोर्ट्स जो फॉलो करते हैं, वो आपके बारे में डेफिनेटली जानते हैं, बट वो लोग जिनको आप अपने बारे में बताना चाहती हैं, वो क्या बताएंगे, किस तरह से आप स्पोर्ट्स में आई और किस चीज़ ने आपको मोटिवेट किया स्पोर्ट्स में आने के लिए?
सबसे पहले तो थैंक यू सो मच कि पैरा स्पोर्ट्स को हम सभी को आपने मतलब अपने साथ यहाँ पे सम्मानित किया, जगह दी बराबर में, उसके लिए थैंक यू. मैं मतलब एक बेसिक नॉर्मल फैमिली से बिलोंग करती हूँ, और जैसे एक होता है ना, अभी जैसे मैम ने बताया कि यूट्रस इज़ द फर्स्ट होम, तो हमें वहाँ नहीं पता होता है कि अंदर बॉय है या गर्ल चाइल्ड है, या एबल बॉडी चाइल्ड है या डिसेबल बॉडी चाइल्ड है. तो जब हम बाहर आते हैं, दुनिया का सामना करते हैं, तो एक गर्ल चाइल्ड जब जिसके पास मतलब ऑलरेडी फैमिली के अंदर इट इज़ लाइक 1980s के अंदर था मेरा बर्थ, तो उस समय मेरी 2 बड़ी बहनें थी. मतलब मैं 3rd गर्ल चाइल्ड थी, तो एक तरह से मैं अनवांटेड गर्ल चाइल्ड थी, तो सबका अटेंशन वैसे ही मुझ पर से कम हो गया. फिर उसके बाद में पता चला 9 मंथ के बाद में मुझे पोलियो ड्रॉप्स रिएक्शन हो गए, तो और ज़्यादा थोड़ा सा फैमिली के लिए टेंशन वाला टॉपिक था कि इसे कैसे बड़ा करेंगे, इसके लिए किस तरह से क्या मतलब कैसे ये लाइफ सरवाइव कर पाएगी. तो मेरी ग्रैंड मदर, हालांकि वो उतनी पढ़ी लिखी नहीं थी उस ज़माने में, लेकिन मुझे नहीं पता उन्हें कैसे इस चीज़ का नॉलेज आया कि मोना को आगे जाके क्या क्या चीज़ें फेस करनी है. वो ट्रेनिंग उन्होंने मुझे उसी समय से देना स्टार्ट कर दिया था. तो आज मैं जो भी बन पाई हूँ, मेरे लिए किसी भी काम को करना मुझे सोचना नहीं पड़ता था कि ये काम मैं कर सकती हूँ या नहीं कर सकती हूँ, क्योंकि मेरी ट्रेनिंग इस तरह की थी कि मुझे करना ही है. तो 2010 के अंदर मैंने मेरे फैमिली से झगड़ा करके और घर छोड़ा था, क्योंकि वो लोग ये चाहते थे कि जनरली जैसे हमारे घर में होता है कि गर्ल की मतलब ग्रेजुएशन के बाद शादी कर दो। तो मैंने कहा कि नहीं, मैं इंडिपेंडेंट होना चाहती हूँ। तो मैं झगड़ा करके घर से आई, फिर मैंने छोटी मोटी जॉब की, जॉब करके अपना अर्निंग सोर्स किया, और फिर क्योंकि नॉलेज उस समय इतना नहीं था कि हमारे लिए भी गेम्स हो सकते हैं, तो मैंने मेरा फर्स्ट स्पोर्ट्स जो है वो स्टार्ट किया था एट द एज ऑफ 29। तो उसमें भी फिर हमारे साथ और बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम है। इट इज़ नॉट लाइक कि जैसे सब लोग, मुझे क्रिकेट पसंद है तो मैं क्रिकेट नहीं खेल सकती। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं मेरी हॉबी के अकॉर्डिंग अपना गेम सिलेक्ट करूं, मुझे मेरी बॉडी के अकॉर्डिंग गेम सिलेक्ट करना है। तो मैंने मल्टीपल गेम्स खेले, फिर उसके अकॉर्डिंग मुझे देखना पड़ा कि मेरा बॉडी किस गेम को सपोर्ट करेगा या कौन सा गेम मेरे बॉडी के अकॉर्डिंग सपोर्टिव है। तो ऐसे करके 3 और 4 गेम्स के बाद जाके मैंने शूटिंग स्टार्ट किया, एंड इट टुक 5 years टू अंडरस्टैंड कि मेरी बॉडी के लिए कौन सा गेम परफेक्ट है। तो मैंने दिसंबर 2021 के अंदर शूटिंग स्टार्ट किया था। राइफ़ल मैंने सिलेक्ट किया, एंड इट इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट कि एक व्हीलचेयर बाउंड के लिए राइफ़ल और उसके सारे इक्विपमेंट्स कैरी करना और उनके साथ ट्रैवल करना। तो मुझे हर बार मतलब मेरे साथ एक असिस्टेंट चाहिए रहता है। तो इस 2 साल की जर्नी में मैंने अभी मार्च में 4th इंटरनेशनल खेला था, एंड आई गॉट द पेरिस टिकट। तो आई एम हैप्पी कि मेरी ग्रैंड मदर ने जो इनिशिएटिव लिया या उन्होंने मेरे ऊपर जो भी वर्क किया, मुझे जो भी सिखाया, उसे मैं अपनी लाइफ में सक्सेस कर पाई।
मोना, आपने कहा मोना ने कहा कि हमने उन्हें जगह दी है, वो हमने जगह बिल्कुल नहीं दी है, वो जगह डिजर्व करती हैं यहाँ पे। एंड वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट representation, and it is important. I want to ask you this question. I was listening to this interview by Denzel Washington. He talks about, and he was asked this question where the interviewer asks, why is a black person directing that particular movie? I don't remember the name of the movie, but his answer is something that struck with me. He said that it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday afternoon, he's talking about a black person, the smell of that hair is not something, it's not about race, it is about culture. And is that the same when it comes to the trans community as well? Because a lot of times we don't talk about culture in that sense.
I think right from the get-go, you know, when you welcome at an event and you say, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm excluded right there. So I'm now, of course, I've developed thick skin because I say that I am the ladies and I am the gentlemen. Sometimes I have to be, right? But the thing is that, but you know, English and Hindi is such a functional language, more than English, I would say, and most of our regional languages are. तो हम सबको मतलब किसी भी स्थान पे सभी को वेलकम कर सकते हैं by saying welcome everyone to this wonderful event. You don't have to put gender in the binaries because, and I say this from a very Indian perspective, from a very Indian cultural perspective, because nowadays if you see, there are these very young people on the internet, okay, and of course I have, my niece is 13, so you know, around that age, 14, 15. And they have been influenced by by some sort of, I'll tell you what. So a lot of people are like, what is this Western disease? What disease? I pay a lot of tax, man. I don't get any rebate for being transgender. You know, there's nothing of the sort. But one more thing is, the being transgender or you know, homosexuality or bisexuality or sexuality in general is not a foreign concept. Homophobia is. So we did not create sections that you know, were derogatory towards women. We did not create sections in our constitution that, you know, questioned somebody's identity and gender and, you know, did not give them jobs. So many of my sisters, you'll see, you know, a lot of people are used to seeing people, when I hold the mic and speak in English, बाप रे, ये तो बाप रे, कितना English में बात करती है. Yes, because it should be normalized that a transgender person can be educated and a productive member of society. So yes, there has to be representation in every field, whether it is the arts, whether it's politics, whether it's education, healthcare, and whether it's sports, whether it's music. And I think it's extremely it's our duty to teach our kids, you know, because if you let them be and you tell them, okay, fine, you know, it's not affecting us, they're the minority, so it's okay to make fun of them. Because suddenly when you speak about religion and faith, we pick up the sports. But if you make fun of my gender, I've not seen many people showing that much enthusiasm. And every life, according to, again, my country, and Ambedkar Sahab, it was said that, you know, everybody deserves a life of respect. That is their birthright. So I should not be denied that just because of my gender. I mean, there are so many kids that I take care of. I don't have to. I take care of because I love them. And they give me wo oda, wo mujhe maa ka oda wo dete hain. And through my foundation, I have been able to, you know, be there and help so many kids. But I would say that they are the ones that help me. They have made me a mother.
The name of the foundation is You're Not Alone.
The name of my foundation is Yana Foundation, which is YANA, means you are not alone. Because a lot of kids growing up, we have also felt so excluded in so many areas, whether it is our body type, whether it's our skin color, whether it is our hair type, whether it's our nails, whether it's the way we speak. You know, I'm quite a South Indian at heart, okay? So we have roots in Kashmir, but you know, also, it's basically national integration, my family tree. Okay, so everyone has met everyone, and here I'm the product of it. So I used to have a very heavy South Indian Konkani accent. And so I used to be made fun of that also. Now, there were so many intersections that you're made fun of everything. These kids, every child deserves love and unconditional love. Not कि तुम ऐसा करो फिर मैं तुमको प्यार दूंगी. And I think that they have made me a better mother. I would just say that, you know. And motherhood is not the act of giving birth. Motherhood is giving love. It's a behavior, it's an emotion.
Wow.
And I think that I'm just happy and proud that I can be a mother to such wonderful kids.
Lovely. I also want to talk about the audience that you are catering to. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a niche audience that you are catering to, an audience that speaks in a certain language, that comes from cities, etc., which has access to technology. Does it make your work easier in that sense, or and how can you have how does one have a conversation with somebody who doesn't have any access to all of this?
It's a heavy question. So I have a very is this on? Yeah, okay. I have a very split audience in where on my Instagram I have like a urban English speaking audience. On my YouTube it's mostly UP Bihar people who I have to speak to in a certain different way versus the people I speak to on Instagram where I have to speak to in a certain different way. I think the onus lies on all of us to kind of initiate that change and to challenge the norms that are held up. I'm trying to do it in 2 languages because I'm bilingual, but so many of us are trilingual and quadrilingual. We can go into those spaces. You can use your influence and change the world. Everybody can change the world in their own way, and we should, you know, we should step out and try to do that. I don't know if it answers the larger question at heart that if it, you know, changes anything, but in medicine, I'm a practicing doctor, so in medicine we have a concept called FOMED, which is free open access to medical education. Because medicine is such a closed off hierarchical space, the education and the awareness we get over there doesn't really necessarily translate into the real world unless you're going to a doctor. I try to use the internet, Jio har gaon mein pahunch chuka hai, to kind of tap into the availability of the internet. Everybody has a cell phone. घर में एक फ़ोन सबके यहाँ होता है, घर में एक इंटरनेट कनेक्शन सबके यहाँ होता है. इवन people who are not from say a higher socio-economic strata हर जगह पहुँच चुका है. And the best thing about using the internet and apps like Instagram and YouTube is that there is no barrier. The barrier to entry is very low. कोई भी जाके देख सकता है. हर कोई अपनी फ़ोटो लगा के देखना चाहता है कि मेरी फ़ोटो पे भी कमेंट करे, मेरी फ़ोटो पे भी फ़िल्टर लगे. That's why I try to use this. I don't know if it's the best approach, but जितने भी approach है मैं सब try कर चुकी. Podcasting, YouTube, Instagram, किताब.
But what would you tell people who are present here, the young people here, if at all they want to have a conversation, which they should, if they want to have a conversation within their families, how do they go about it?
घर में जाके पीरियड चलाना शुरू कर दो. I'm telling you, it is that easy. It is that difficult as well. So think about it. When we teach young people about their bodies, हम उनको बताते हैं ये आँखें हैं, ये नाक है, ये मुंह है, ये शेम है. ये शेम क्यों है? क्या शेम है इसमें? ये बॉडी का पार्ट नहीं है क्या? इसमें क्यों शेम छुपी है? हम सब यहीं से निकले हैं यार. अगर आप सिजेरियन से भी पैदा हुए हो तो उस जनरल एरिया से ही निकले हो, तो ये शेम क्यों है? And we need to challenge it from the get-go. I'm a very big fan of age-appropriate sex education. मैं sex education में नहीं बोलती, लोगों का skin crawl करने लगता है ये शब्द सुन के. I say body literacy. So age-appropriate body literacy सबके साथ होनी चाहिए. And you know, speak to the young people in your household. अगर घर वाले चप्पल मार रहे हैं तो उनसे मत बात करो, छोटे वालों से बात करो. Change the coming generation. And वो बदलेगी तो पीछे वालों will be forced to बदलो. मतलब ऐसा एटमॉस्फेयर क्रिएट कर दीजिए कि उनके पास कोई ऑप्शन ही ना हो इसके अलावा बात करने के अलावा. थोड़ा रैडिकल चेंज. बट ऑल्सो जस्ट टॉक अबाउट your body. I did a workshop with some older women in the US, and these were all women in their 60s, 70s who've all, you know, lived their life. They're living in America. And workshop के बाद मैंने end में एक काम कराया. I said we will all get together and we'll say the word vagina 3 times. Vagina, vagina, vagina.
Can we try this?
I would love to. इसमें कोई भारी शर्म की बात नहीं है. Can we do that?
Can we do that?
3, 2, 1, vagina. 3, 2, 1, vagina. सब जोर से बोलो यार.
This needs to be louder, guys.
Vagina. So this is what I do at the end of most of my workshops to take away some of that shame. And in this particular workshop, one lady came to me. She must have been in her late 60s. She's given birth to 4 children. And she came to me crying. She said, मैंने ये शब्द कभी बोला ही नहीं अपने जीवन में. A woman who has given birth to 4 children from that very vagina has never said the word vagina. Can you imagine going through your life without saying the word elbow? जिंदगी भर बोला ही नहीं है.
Right.
And that is the reality of a lot of people. So just speak, just do it. Nike का slogan, but do it.
One final word from Mansoor and Mona. What is your message to this young audience who's here? And what would be your message when it comes to technology and when it comes to sports? What would you tell these young people about your profession that they can use if they want to get into that space?
That's a great question. I feel like at the point we are at right now in society, like technology is going through such a rapid evolution. Especially with AI and all of these new technologies. But one thing that I would like to say is like for me what worked is I tried to connect my background with my career. So for example, like I come from a family of musicians. My family has been in music for 7 generations, and I learned music, and then I tried to translate my passion into my career. So I was also into tech, so I thought like, okay, can I find a space that lies at the intersection of music and tech? And that was how I got into this space, and I ended up creating this company in AI music. But of course, that's not something that will work for everyone. But what my perspective is like, everyone has that one core skill that they're really good at, and I think you should just harness that and keep improving that over a period of time. I don't think any AI also can replace you at that if you're really good at that skill. Yeah.
Lovely. मोना, आप क्या बताना चाहेंगे, क्या बोलना चाहेंगे इस जनता को, इस यंग क्राउड को जो सेफ एग्जांपल स्पोर्ट्स की तरफ जाना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए आपका क्या मैसेज है?
स्पोर्ट्स को एज अ करियर अगर आप सिलेक्ट करते हैं दैट इज़ योर चॉइस. बट हम सब बचपन से लेकर जैसे छोटे से बड़े हुए हैं, तो हम सब छोटे में बचपन में कुछ ना कुछ गेम खेलते थे. किसी ने सांप सीढ़ी खेला होगा, लूडो खेला होगा, और कई सारे अपने गेम्स खेले होंगे. तो खेलना मत छोड़िए. उसे एज अ हॉबी से लेकर अगर आप एज अ प्रोफेशन में भी डालते हैं, वो आपकी हेल्थ के लिए, आपके माइंड के लिए, हर चीज़ के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. तो आप किसी भी स्पोर्ट्स में हैं तो आप फिट हैं, हेल्दी हैं, बॉडी से भी माइंड से भी, तो खेलते रहना चाहिए.
Lovely. But